Hello Wolfpack, we're here on Ethereum Classic, ETC. Obviously, it's got that branding recognition, right? So obviously as people FOMO into Ethereum gets too high, they look at ETC, they're new to crypto, they don't understand tokenomics, and they'll buy ETC just because ETC's down here at $50 while Ethereum's at 4,000, right? It sounds ridiculous, but that's what new people do, right? Why do you think Shiba and Dogecoin keep pumping, right? Yeah, it's because of hype, but it's also because a lot of new investors invest in those coins, and they think that what happens if it just goes to $1, right? If it just goes to $1, it'll be worth a few $1,000,000, but they don't understand that for Shiba to go to $1, it'd need to be like 70 times higher than Bitcoin in terms of market cap. So it's the same thing with ETC, and use case, whether the use case is good or not, I don't really care. I don't really care at all. I'm here for the trading potential, right, in the altcoin season, because at the end of the day, I'm essentially a Bitcoin maximalist, right? Essentially, so I like Bitcoin, and I use altcoins very, very regularly to trade, to accumulate more sats. So it's all about the TA for me, and obviously fundamentals do help, but in terms of ETC, I think it's all about the branding, really. So that's the main point that I wanted to get down in this video. But the reason I'm making this video isn't because of the fundamentals at all. It's actually because of the massive period of sideways accumulation we are seeing on ETC, right? All the way from May, it's been about 6 months, and we're still accumulating here on ETC from around the $100 region. Actually the $80 region down to around the $30 region, right? So in that $50 range, and most of that's actually been done between around 45 and 80. So in like a $45, $35 range, we've been accumulating for 6 months, and we've yet to break out to the downside or the upside out of that range. And it's pretty damn obvious, right? You have to be kind of blind if you think we're going to break to the downside here, right? The market's going great. Everything's happening in terms of a cyclical theory. We're seeing things we've seen before multiple times. The market looks excellent, right? And hence, we can assume that most altcoins are going to be gaining valuation. It's just about getting the ones that gain the most valuation, or trading the ones at the right times, because there's two ways to do this. There's two ways to go about the altcoin season. One of the ways is getting into coins that are going to go up the highest, and the other way is constantly filtering your money through coins. So you have, say, 5 coins. When one of them goes up 30%, you sell all of it, put it into coins that haven't gone up. Then then they go up, and then you put them into coins that haven't gone up yet. They go up, you put them into coins. It's a cyclical kind of money, investment scheme, or you can just hold, right? And that's obviously the most, the easiest option to do. And if you're new to crypto, that would probably be the best thing to do. But if you know how to identify patterns, trading is not a bad idea, and that's what I'm looking to do here on ETC, right? So I'm keeping an eye on ETC, and one of the reasons I'm keeping an eye on ETC is because I think a breakout is pretty imminent here, right, in November, as with a lot of altcoins. But the point of the matter is that, once we determine when a breakout will happen, we can start to filter that into our investing plan, right? So for my personal strategy for ETC will be to hold on to a bit of ETC, wait for it to go up, 30%, sell it all, and put it into an altcoin that's still on the ground, and just repeat that process until the market tops out, right? So that's what I'm looking at ETC to do. And I like coins like ETC, like Bitcoin Cash, because they have that branding, and also they have, they've proven to us that they top out generally with Bitcoin, right? They top out with Bitcoin. Yes, we went up in January, but we actually reached our all-time high in ETC in the last cycle with Bitcoin, right, on the same day or around that region. So we can be a bit more certain, of coins like Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and ETC, that we can hold them until Bitcoin tops out, and then sell them when Bitcoin tops out, and then filter that money into altcoins that are going to run past when Bitcoin tops out, right? So we can have a pretty good investment plan with them, even without knowing exactly where they're going to go. But ETC looks good in terms of TA, right? And I know it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's just moving sideways, but this is actually extremely bullish, because what it represents is that, well, the bears are pretty much unable to push us any lower. That's what it means, right? Ever since September, we've been kind of testing this $42 or whatever it is, $43 support zone, and the bears have just simply been unable to push us lower, and we've just been hovering for the most part between $60 and $40. And right now, what we can see on the VVPR is that all of the volume is happening in this region, and once we do finally break $60, we'll move quite fast to the upside, right? Because there's not a lot of historical trading volume in that region. So, and more specifically, once we break $80, right, we're going to see something like this once again, right? A massive move in a short amount of time. But $60 is the first target, but once we break $80, it's pretty much a home run from there for ETC. So let's see at the, we've got the SMAs, and all of the SMAs are compacted into one nice, neat little pile here. And what this represents, and if you've watched my videos in the past, I've explained this before, it represents compression, right? Compression. All of these SMAs are within 3 USD of each other, which means that the price has nowhere to go, right? So it has to make a move very soon. It can't just compress like this forever, right? The longer these SMAs are in a very short, a very tight range, the more likely we'll be seeing a strong bounce on ETC, which I think is going to be happening very soon, right? We have an extended inverse head and shoulders pattern. We've got the left shoulder here, downwards to the head, and then an extended right shoulder. It still stands true though, right? So the neckline there is at 80 USD, which, once again plays into the fact that once we break 80 USD, we'll probably be breaking to the upside quite significantly. We can actually draw a target for this head and shoulders pattern from the tip of the head to the neckline here and extrapolate that data over 80 USD. It's a little bit wonky. Let me just straighten that up. And we can see that once we break 80 USD, our immediate target would be 115 USD on ETC. And, I think that's going to happen in November. I've said that before at the start of this year. I think it's going to happen again, right? In November, I think we're going to be moving up. And we'll get into that in a second. But the Bollinger Bands is another thing I want to put into example here. Whenever the Bollinger Bands enter a tight range of compression, right? So whenever they narrow like this, it means a move is imminent, right? We saw that, similar thing happening here in March. We saw a tightening, and then only, less than a few weeks later, we started making a massive move to the upside. Would expect something very similar on ETC this month in November, right? A massive move to the upside. So let's see on the weekly chart what actually happened last cycle, because ETC has been around for the last cycle, right? It was around 2017. And we saw something pretty similar in 2017, right? We just saw this flat, consolidation region, a bounce up, a bit of downwards action, a little bit of W formation, and then another move to the upside. What have we seen? Flat, a bounce up, a bit of a W formation, and now we're going to be seeing another move to the upside, right? So it's all cyclical. It's all happened before. And what we can actually expect right now that we have this pattern, what we can actually expect is that, well, we reached from around we can look at last cycle and say that in October, last cycle, the end of October, we were at 10 USD, and we reached a price point of around 50 USD, so about a 5x. If we simply just half those returns, what we can expect on ETC is a 5x from current prices at 50 USD, which is around 250 USD. So I would say a conservative prediction for ETC is 250 USD by the end of the cycle. A lot of people would say that's way too conservative. I don't really care, right? I think that's my conservative price prediction. As I said, me personally, I'm not looking to hold it, right? I'm looking to trade it. So you guys do it with that what you will. A 5x is still pretty good gains. We can see on the bull market support band, we were in a very similar situation as we are now, as we were in 2017, right? We were just hovering around the Bollinger Band. We finally broke to the upside, and then we saw a move upwards, right? What are we doing now? We're trying to break to the upside, and from that, we'll see a move upwards. Same thing with the Bollinger Bands, right? The first weekly candle, we closed above the Bollinger Bands in November 2017. We started that exponential move when we see a close over the Bollinger Bands, over the center line of the Bollinger Bands in this November, we will see that parabolic move like we saw last cycle. Please note that all of the dates are the same here. We topped out in June. Here, or I think it was late May. We topped out in September, right? We topped out in September, and we're making a move in November, and we will be making a move in November. So everything that's happened here has happened before, just like a lot of altcoins right now, which is actually very reassuring. We also have a couple of SMAs acting as resistance here, and we'll bring up the MACD and RSI, and we can see that a MACD cross will be coming, will be coming for a bullish cross within the next few weeks if we start moving to the upside, similar to what happened in the last cycle, right? Mid-November, that cross took place, and that pushed us for our final move. So we look good. Nothing, too special here on ETC, nothing we haven't seen before, which is actually great to see because you want to see that predictability playing out. So it looks like we're going to see a very bullish November, December, and I don't think a bullish January. So November and December, and until Bitcoin tops out, which we're expecting on the 6th of January, sorry. So I guess into January as well. But, this is a coin that you definitely want to be trading or holding before Bitcoin tops out, selling when Bitcoin tops out, and filtering those profits into other altcoins that are still on the ground. If we look, I've just forgot to look at some stuff on the daily chart here, so we'll look at that in a second. And we can see that The RSI is in a bit of an undervalued position as well. It's just at the center line. So we've got room to make a move here, which is great to see. As for the MACD, we've literally just seen a bullish MACD cross as well, which kind of suggests to me that within the next few days, we should be seeing that move to the upside. I'd be very surprised if we don't, right? At least in September, right? November, sorry. November's going to be a very bullish month for ETC. I can definitely see that happening for sure. We're on ETC Ethereum, right? So this is the Ethereum pair. So this is how ETC kind of performs in relation to Ethereum, which is relevant because it's a hard fork of Ethereum. So let's see what's gone up here, and we can see that, well, we're seeing once again a very clear pattern from what happened last time, right? So we saw at the start of last cycle a little cup formation, right? We've seen a cup formation here. We saw a downwards trend, right? A downwards trend, and that could actually continued until about November, where we saw a little bounce, right? And what we're seeing right now is a cup formation, a downwards trend until about November, and we'll see a little bounce here. And then as Ethereum kind of makes the rest of this move, because as I said, Ethereum Classic tends to top out with Bitcoin, and then Ethereum obviously moves further than that, longer than that, so we'll bottom out here as well. So I'm not expecting too special, nothing's too special, you know what I mean? But it should do something like that. On the Bitcoin pair, we're seeing, I actually pretty surprised here on ETC because I wasn't expecting us to drop below this green box here, which is around 1,000 sats, because 1,000 sats is obviously some sort of psychological support zone, as well as a proven support zone, but we have dropped below that. We've gone down to 735 sats, and so what we would be expecting now, and since, November is going to be a bullish month for ETC, most likely, I'd be expecting a swing up to the upside here, and, we should be able to make new all-time highs in the Bitcoin pair, possibly just above this resistance zone, and then flipping that, and then heading downwards for the bear market. I think something like that will be going on. Obviously, it wouldn't take that long. It wouldn't go until July. It happened very, very quickly. So I think a very sharp move will be happening, which isn't abnormal at all. I mean, every time we see, moves on the Bitcoin pair on ETC, we see sharp movements, and that's the same thing with most altcoins as well, because altcoins move quite quickly and then they're retraced quite quickly. So, it looks like we're going to be moving upwards, to the upside in the Bitcoin pair and the USD pair and the Ethereum pair, definitely in November and December. And then from that point onwards, we'll probably be heading downwards. So do with that what you will. I hope you enjoyed, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.